I do constantly, I constantly overestimate my ability to handle marijuana, though. Oh man, it's one of those things. Like I constantly get cocky with it, and then drugs are like, "Hey man, we're still better than you." I'm like, "Oh, whoops." Yeah, you're right. Well, whoops-a-doodle. I'll remember. But guess what? Marijuana's a memory loss drug. Always forget. And that's how it gets me. That's how it gets me. Every time I'm like, "Oh, let's do it," and it's just like, "I'm gonna crush you." I was down in Chico, California, about a year and a half ago. And if you guys don't know where Chico is or what it's about, it's like just the most party town I've ever been in before. Like where you just meet people and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have a good time." You're like, okay, all right, I'll go along with this. This is terrifying. And I was down there, I was doing a show where comics were supposed to smoke weed on it. So I did the show, and I did dabs for the first time on this show. First time my body had experienced that. And for those who don't know what dabs are, you know how weed is like nice? Well, they basically took all the real intense parts of weed and then condensed it down. So it's 99% fuck your shit up, 1% color brown, and then you smoke it out of a repurposed crack pipe that someone heated up with a butane torch. So it's like a real chill time. Like, it's just super chill. You just see this garbage and someone will be like, you're like, "Oh, is that a lightsaber? What?" You're like, "No, man, it's chill." You're like, "Your name's Travis, so I guess I have to go along with this." But it hits you hard, and I got cocky. I was doing the show, and I did one dab hit, and I exhaled it, and I was like, "Ha, I'm a big boy. I got this shit." Side note, calling yourself a big boy usually is a sign of things not going well in the near future. Anytime I've been like, "You're a big boy," the world is like, So I exhaled the first one, and I was like, I can do a second one. I get the second one. As I'm exhaling the second one, it descends upon my body. And it just felt like a bear just like enveloped me, and it was just like, "You're gonna be smaller." I was like, "Oh, okay." I forgot the English language. I was at that point. I'm sitting in a chair, people are talking, standing above me, and I'm like, I know all these words, but I do not understand any of these words. And I have to go talk in front of strangers and make them happy. This is terrifying. But I went and did it. It was a lot of fun. I felt really good about it. After the show, I'm hanging out outside. I'm just like, "You did a good job. You deserve a treat." And I'm hanging out, and some dude comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, we're having a house party. You and the other comics, you should come hang out." And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm hella chill. Let's go be chill." And he was like, "That's a weird way to talk to people." And I was like, "You already invited me, so no take backsies." Let's go! So I get driven there, and keep in mind, I'm in a town I've never been before, around people I don't know. I'm still fairly high, it's coming down, and I'm hanging out there. It's an okay time. I'm just hanging out in the kitchen, and the dude who brought me there, he just presents me with a cookie. Yeah, okay, I know where this goes. And and I just eat it like immediately. I was like, "Oh, I do deserve a treat." Like, I am so good at eating cookies. I've been practicing for years. I don't know what this skill is gonna help me in the future, but if there is ever like an Olympic sport at eating cookies, I'd be like, "Fucking put me in, chief." And so I did it real fast. 10 minutes go by, and I realized, like, hey, maybe I should ask questions. Because strangers are dangers. It rhymes, so it has to be true, right? And so I go, and I find him again. I was like, "Hey, man, was that like a normal cookie, or did it have like, ha-ha, pizzazz?" And he responded by going, "Oh, you didn't know?" I'm like, that's not the response I wanted to hear. I was like, "How much of that cookie should I have eaten?" And he's like, "Probably about a quarter." I was like, "Ha ha! Wow, wish you'd told me that 3/4 of a cookie ago." Because it is already in my belly bits, and I'm not about to puke up a snickerdoodle, so this is who we're gonna be as people for a while. And I've gotten too high before, and I thought I was gonna be okay, and I'm just like walking around. I was like, "Hey man, we said we're chill. Let's be chill. Just chill." I'm fine. I'm just hanging out. And then like that, it starts to click into. And edibles hit you different. It just gives you anxiety, and you don't know how your body works anymore. And so my butthole, it started pulsating. But it was like, and I was like walking around to just be like, I gotta move around. But it was like pulsating on step with me. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, who's doing that? Is that me? Is that it? Who's in charge of who? I don't. And I was like, this is not how I wanted this to go. And like a bunch of the people that are at the show, they show up at the party like after this is already happening. They're like, it's the funny guy. I'm like, not anymore. He's here, but he's not quite here. No, I gotta run away. So I ran away. I went and hid in the backyard behind a shed, because I'm a big boy, and I was just spiraling out, just like talking to my own butthole. I'm like, well, are you in charge of me, or am I in charge of you, man? Like, because every time I tell you what to do, you do it. But every time you tell me what to do, I always fucking do it. So who's in charge of who? In charge of who? Life's big questions. And as I'm doing that, as I'm freaking out, the guy who drove me there, it's his house, he gave me the cookie. He finds me, and he's like so much more aggressive right now. I'm just hanging out here, and he's like, hey, Luke! And I'm like, what? Hey, man, what's up? I'm just chilling. This is a nice shed. How are you? He goes, hey, man, we're going to go smoke a blunt. You should come smoke a blunt with us. I'm like, no, man, I'm already way too many high. I don't need any more drugs for my body, please, and no thank you to you and yours. He's like, nah, man, you need to come smoke this blunt with us or everyone's going to think you're a narc. I'm like, okay, if I don't go do drugs with you, you think everyone's gonna think I'm an undercover cop? I'm like, that is insane to me. That means I went to cop school and was like, yeah, this is fun. And after becoming a cop, I was like, ooh, that's not enough. I got narc in my heart. I got narc in my heart. I want to ruin someone's fun. So I went to narc cop school and graduated with flying colors, but I couldn't tell anyone about it because it's a secret. And as soon as I graduated, I talked to Chief. I was like, hey, Chief, what should my cover be? And Chief goes, stand-up comedian, man. I was like, good call, Chief. Good call, Chief. They always get invited to all the drugs. So I went undercover as a stand-up comedian, man. Just started yelling at strangers in dark rooms about my penis and what I do with it for like the better part of a decade. And then I get invited down to a show in Chico, California, where I do dabs for the first time, end up in someone's backyard after eating an edible, and I'm talking to my own butthole while I'm losing my goddamn mind. And then you come up to me and go, hey, do you want drugs? And I go, no drugs for me. And you're like, your cover's blown. I'm like, oh, no. You got me! Foiled again. I'm glad you guys like that. He did not. I don't know if you know this, but cocaine does not help your sense of humor at all, because he's very coked up. You can see the devil in his eyes, so I was like, I'm okay. I'm not proud of this. But I went and I smoked the blunt with him. Okay, I'm not proud of like caving into peer pressure, but like I feel like we've all had a moment like that where you're going out and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to drink tonight. And then one of your friends is like, hey, do you want a shot? And you go, you bring up a good point. All been there. So I went, I smoked the blunt with him. I thought that would be the end of it. And then he pulls out like the biggest bag of cocaine I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, this is too much for a Tuesday. I was like, this is way too much. But luckily, the cops came immediately afterwards. Fucking got him, you guys. I got him. It took 7 years. Yeah. Keith is so proud of me right now. He's so proud of me. Like, I don't even have to do stand-up anymore. I don't know why I'm here. That was so stupid. You guys went with it. Thank you. That was so fucking dumb.